Hi everyone, I'm going to start off with a quote. My quote comes from page 58 to 59 of Horacefield, Scott, and Anderson, 2018. The administrative progresses invented schools and school district leadership as a field of study and as a professional track, and largely reserves such positions for white men, all while excluding or limiting the participation of women of all races, poor men, and men of color in leadership positions. As people of color and women began running school and districts in greater numbers, and as the backlash against school desegregation, multiculturalism, and compensatory programs took hold, critiques from elite also emerged about urban systems and schools. I just find it extremely funny that while leadership roles were given to white men, as quoted in the text, everything seemed to be hunky-dory. Everything is fine here, no need to look any further. No standardized test or charter schools. Yet, when leadership positions were opened up to women of all races and men of color, all of a sudden standardized tests matter so much more, and the emergence of charter schools which followed to combat the failing schools as measured by these standardized tests, which didn't exist or were of little importance before people of color and women had leadership positions, continue to rise. It's hard to it's hard to think that there isn't a bit of institutional racism going on here. This notion is confounded even further when you think about the type of people in the elite who critique urban systems and schools, i.e., rich white families such as the Waltons, the Gates, etc. Considering the past 500 years since the discovery of the New World, it's hard to think that these people have the best interest in mind when it comes to people of color, especially when there is a profit to be made. Anyways, privatized charter schools are here to stay. Some hallmarks of school choice policy include charter schools which do not need to follow state and district regulations while promising a bill of good. Vouchers which allow parents to pick and pay for a school of their choice, be it above or below the value of the voucher. Parent trigger laws which allow parents to convert a low-performing school into a charter school, and school choice by parents. While a lack of regulation of privatized charters, with a lack of regulation of privatized charter school, insurmountable evidence exists that choice just continues socioeconomic inequalities and racial segregation. Although school choice sounds great, in many ways it's a continuation of segregated school policies of yesteryear. The best charter schools are strategically located in areas of smaller, high-need populations, i.e., areas where there are a lot of students who have learning disabilities or English language learners, or areas known to have high number of students with behavioral issues. And these schools are typically out of the reach of parents of color. Charter schools, which do exist in community of colors, are usually extremely regimented, no excuse charter schools, akin to the pipeline to prison theory of education. Not to mention that research has shown that charter schools do not serve proportional numbers of students with special needs and English language learners. And when they are allowed, when these types of students are allowed to access these charter schools, evidence has shown that there is a high attrition rate and no accountability for those schools. In other words, these kids tend to drop out and nobody checks in on them to see what's going on. While charter schools are not held accountable for the communities they serve, they are simply a nuisance to those they don't serve and choose to ignore.